If you're wondering where Lake Mead is, guys, and what the drought of the Southwest is, it's all this fucking hay not getting used. This is the high desert plains of Idaho. This is the Snake River getting wasted. We're subsidizing these fucking morons with not enough brain cells to change because they use the heritage excuse of, oh, but my family's always been farming this. Oh, you mean your family's always been farming this since they came west for either a gold rush or for fucking Mormon bullshit because the people on the east said, get the fuck out of here with your blasphemy. But you mean since those people came west and then there was no more gold, and then instead of going back to their homes, they tried to pretend like they're in Indiana still and farming in the fucking desert. All this green. Pull up Google. Actually, I'll put an image on here. In Google Earth, all the green is in circles because there's only green in the high desert plains where you steal water from rivers and artificially use irrigation to farm land that shouldn't fucking be farmed, you fucking retards. And then a whole third of the country is in drought. There's waterfalls in Twin Falls, Idaho. They're gorgeous. Google Twin Falls, Idaho waterfalls, Shoshone Falls. Not a drop of water on them right now. You know why? Because it's irrigation season, they say. And then they cry about drought. Oh, we need the rain, we need the rain. Oh, you mean you don't have enough water farming in the fucking desert, you fucking retard? I have no sympathy at all. And I will applaud the day with popcorn in hand when this shit is burning in wildfire. Like, here's my shocked face. You're in a drought. Your dumbass ancestors, who didn't know any better at least, they have the excuse of ignorance that this couldn't sustain. Just instead of making changes, you keep doing it. Why? Because my granddaddy did. And his granddaddy did. You know, you're even fucking stupider. I have no sympathy for them. None at all. It's just, it's so fucking disgusting to see this green shit. This should be sagebrush. High desert plains, I'm at 3,700 feet. High desert plain, zero rainfall because the Cascades block it all. But these fucking morons are growing hay. They only sell 3% of the hay. Every single farm you go by has huge stacks of hay. And you can see the years on it. You can see the fresh hay still got some green. And you can see 3 or 4 different shades of hay. So they're just growing this shit, subsidized by the government, whining about liberals and millennials, while they literally ruin a third of the country. These fucking morons. Fuck you, Idaho. Choke on your parched tongues. I can't wait until this all burns. Go fuck yourselves. And you can see this hay is greener. This hay is from this season right here. And then this next bale of hay here is from last year. Still not used. It probably went to the road there. And they did use some of it. They don't use all of it. You know why? Because we're subsidizing these fucking morons whose ancestors moved out here for gold or for Mormon crazy shit, which don't get me started on that. But they moved out here, their ancestors did, to mine minerals. And then when those minerals were gone, they didn't go back home. They wanted to pretend they were in Indiana still and farm in the West. And you know how you farm in high desert plains? This should be sagebrush only. As it is when I cross the Oregon border, they're all like, oh, it's just sagebrush and high desert. It's gonna be nothing for 300 miles. Oh, you mean like the land naturally is, and then unless you steal water from rivers downstream to artificially grow fucking plants that no one's fucking using, just so we can let these idiots continue a way of life because of the worst heritage excuse I've ever heard. The worst excuse, oh, because my granddaddy did it. Just because they're a fucking moron and did some unsustainable shit. Look, there's some more hay. Perfect timing. Go fuck yourself. Oh, okay, so even these natural crazy waterfalls are dry to the bone, yet you still are crying about the drought. I wonder why. You mean you're stopping all the water from going downstream where it would be evaporated and then fly over you and rain back down. You're stopping that from happening so you can grow hay that sits in your fucking field in towering stacks that you have to have marked with spray paint to prove to the government who's subsidizing you to do this dumb shit that you did actually grow stuff they paid you to grow that no one's using. It is so fucking frustrating and disgusting. Another fucking haystack up here on the right. And I'm not exaggerating. Every single field and farm has this same haystack. That's everywhere. God, it is so hard to be a Christian. I hate to be a Bible beater. I want to fucking punch every farmer I see. It is so hard to bite my tongue. And when they cry about the drought, it is so hard not to berate them like the fucking children that they are.